Hey everybody, Charlie Stevens here. Thank you so much for tuning into another guitar lesson. In this lesson I'd like to teach you about the F chord. Okay, so the F chord is considered a tricky chord for beginners, okay? This is usually, it's sort of a rite of passage when you finally get this chord because it sort of takes a while for people's fingers to get it. And they might learn a D chord and go, yeah, that's pretty cool. G chord, yeah, it's not too hard. F, a lot of people go, oh man, that one is tough. And the reason is because it has a mini bar, okay? So we have things called bar chords, and there's a way to play it F as a bar chord as well, which we're not going to tackle in this video, but we will totally talk about that and all the different ways we can play F. I'm just going to show what's usually considered the most beginner F chord, and it has a bar. Bar means we're going to squish down the strings with one of our fingers, and this one here that I'm demonstrating, you can see I'm squishing down all 6 strings with my finger here. That's called the grand bar. They all have these fancy names and stuff, okay? But when we do it with 2 strings, that one's called a mini bar. This is the smallest bar, because otherwise I'd just be playing 1 string, right? So we're going to use this mini bar here in the F chord, and it's at the frets 1 on strings 2 and 1, okay? On the B string and the E string, both the first fret, we're going to smush down with 1 finger, and then we have to get these other fingers on there. Okay? So I always thought F looked a lot like C. So if you play a C chord, okay, we have that. If we take these 2 fingers and we move them over, so see how we have an open G string in the middle of our shape that we're doing here? So in F, we don't have any open strings in the middle. We're going to move these down physically, higher in pitch, that is. And we have that. This is an F triad, just those 3. 3rd fret of D, 2nd fret of G, 1st fret of B. That gives you an F triad. And that's actually a fine way to play this. So if you're struggling with the way that I'm presenting it in a moment, realize that this is actually a full G chord already. It has all 3 notes of the triad we need. We technically don't need anything else. However, now we have to either mute this high E like that, because if we play it, we get an E note which is not in an F chord. This creates a chord called F major 7, which is a beautiful chord, okay? But oftentimes when we need a regular F chord, this one is too beautiful and it's not a good substitute for it. It stands out too much, has too much color, too much flavor, and sometimes that's great, other times we don't want that because it's going to detract from the function that we need the F to serve, okay? So what we do is we add another F note. So notes I'm playing are F on the 3rd fret of D, A on the 2nd fret of the G string, C on the 1st fret of the B string, and now I need to double up the root, the F, here on the high E string on the 1st fret. And there you go. That's the F chord. Okay, so this is pretty tricky for a lot of people at first. So when we play guitar, oftentimes we want our fingers to kind of curl into the guitar, but then this last joint here of my finger, I really want it to stand up tall like that, okay? When I do a mini bar or a full bar or any type of bar, really the mini bar I think is really what I'm talking about here. I actually want my finger to stand up this way. I have to kind of push it down. See how it's kind of curving that way now? Okay? And then these fingers have to come in and stand up tall. So that's kind of the difficult part about these. Some of them are doing this, some of them are kind of bent back the other way. Or in this case, one of them is, my index finger is. So see how I'm doing that? I'm kind of like bending it back. That's what I'm going to do over here. Kind of bend it back. So flat, and then see I kind of pop that up, and then these come in and they go down. So this is kind of the tricky part, and I've seen 2 different ways to explain this that I think are 2 different methods to try to do this that I think are both good. One is to start with the bar, and you can just get that, work that out. That might be difficult for you, okay? So take time doing that. Once you got that, now we can add the 2nd finger to the 3rd fret of E. I played an open D string. That's cool. That gives me a D minor 7 chord actually. So once you know what you're doing, there's no such thing as a mistake. You're just accidentally doing different chords basically. So that's a really rad sound. I like that. If we just do these 3, that's a full F major triad. So again, we don't really need to add this 4th note, but it sounds better if we do, and we should work towards doing that. But if you're having trouble with that, realize that either this version of 3 notes or this version with 3 notes, those are full F chords, so they're good to know about for various reasons. You usually don't want to replace the one I'm going to show you with these versions, just because you might as well get the fourth one if you can do it. They just sounds more full, you know. But if you can't do it, this is a way to do it. Might be a little thinner, but it's legitimate, you know. It's got all three notes that we need for the F major triad. So anyhow, that's one way to do it. We can start with the bar, we can add this finger, and when you can do that, now you can reach the third finger over, and that tends to be the tricky part for people. And my thumb is way on the bottom of the guitar here. So see, when I'm doing this, it's right behind where the pinch happens on the first fret, right? And it's not up here. It's way back here. It's pushing against this to make this happen, okay? So I find that to be sort of important for this chord, and I want to make you aware of that. And I'm also not touching with my hand here. See, I have a lot of room to slide my finger in between my fingers. I'm not like, this part of my hand is not touching the guitar like that. I can't really play the guitar as well. Okay, I guess I can do this chord. My thumb can be up here. For me, I've played guitar for over 20 years, so I can kind of get away with stuff like that. But if you're a beginner and you're doing stuff like that and you're not able to play the F, those are the types of things to check out, okay? Make sure you have some space here so your fingers can get in and curl up. Make sure your thumb is back here kind of on the lower part of the back of the guitar, right behind where these two fingers are doing the work, okay? Okay, so that's one way to get into this. You can start with the mini bar and add the other fingers. Here's another way I've seen this explained, and one of my teachers, Jason Olson, I believe, is the one who recommended this method and prefers this method. But he says to start with these three, like we did in the beginning, and then work on flattening that finger out. So I've tried this with my in-person students, and I've kind of tried different methods. I've noticed for some people the first method is better, and for other people the second method is better. So I'd like you to experiment with both and just see if you can figure out what's right for you. Okay? Well, here it is again, our F major chord. So we have nothing on the 6th string, nothing on the 5th string, 3rd fret of the 4th string, which is the note F, 2nd fret of the 3rd string, which is the note A, 1st fret of the 2nd string, which is the note C, and the 1st fret of the 1st string, which is the note F again. And that, my friends, is an F major chord. Okay, we do have ways to, we're going to boom chuck. We know we have this note back there. Watch my lesson on boom chuck, and you can understand why, but basically that's where the 5th of this chord is in the bass. The 5th is C, F, G, A, B, C is 5 letters away, and the lower one from this F is right here. So boom chucking could be like that, which means we could put a pinky on the D string and use our 3rd finger to play the A string, and that's sometimes called long F. Now we just can't use the low E. But hey, we have an F on the 1st fret, so if we make a bar all the way across all the strings, now we can play them all. So I just wanted to mention that, okay, this is about the beginner F. I'll do another video where we talk about bar chords, and we'll check this out again in the long F, and I'll kind of take more time to explain that. But I just wanted to mention it in passing, because maybe you're at a level where you just watched me do that right now, and now you already got those versions as well. So great if you did, don't worry if you didn't, okay? We're really focused on this F chord today. Alright, and that's all I got for you today. So like I said, this is a very difficult chord for most beginners, so take your time, be patient and kind with yourself, and really work on it. Put in the work and practice, because this will pay off. Once you get this, like I said, it's a rite of passage. You're going to feel like a more accomplished guitar player after this, okay? You're going to be able to play a lot more songs. It's kind of a bummer when you go to play a song and there's one chord in there that you don't know or you can't play. And you go, oh man, I wanted to do Take Me Home Country Roads by John Denver, but the bridge has an F chord and I can't play that. Well, that can be kind of a bummer, right? But if you know how to play an F chord, now you're empowered to play lots of songs, okay? So work hard on this, take your time, and thank you so much for watching. If you're enjoying this course, please subscribe to the channel. I look forward to seeing you in another guitar lesson really soon. Thanks again. Bye.